Hi everyone, my name is Anna. Welcome back. We are here for another writing vlog, but this one is going to be a little different. We are going to do a weekly writing vlog, which I have not done before. I'm just fitting my writing in wherever I can, basically. I work a 9-to-5 remote job, so I just write in the morning, write in the evening, write on the weekends, and sometimes it can get messy and chaotic, but this week we're doing it. This video is basically going to be a look into the week of a writer who is trying to do way too much. Especially since I've been taking this Reedsy writing course. I am taking a course called How to Write a Novel, and Reedsy is letting me audit this course for free so that I can basically share my experience with you all. I have really been enjoying it. But it is a lot of work. It's felt like a mini MFA almost. So the book I've been working on is Hera's book, which is a dark adult romantasy, and I've just been going at my own pace. It's feeling like it's going to be a bit of a shorter book, maybe a novella. So I've kind of released myself from the goal of the course, which is 1,000 words a day, 75K draft at the end. And I just want to see how far I can get with this little project. I'm really excited to see where we end up at the end of September. So this week definitely ended up being an example of a very busy week in my life, probably more busy than usual actually. So in addition to writing Hera's book and doing my coursework, I also did some beta reading for one of my critique partners, and I also got a lot of beta reader feedback on my project Gemstone. So I definitely divided my attention this week between the two projects, and wow, it basically became an example of me spreading myself super thin this week, but I want to show what that looks like. I kind of defaulted to filming just a lot of B-roll throughout the week, so voiceover Anna is gonna really glue this one together for us. So I hope you still enjoy this style of video, and yeah, let's hit it. We start here the evening of Monday night after work, and after dinner is usually when I have a few hours to work on my creative projects. So this is pretty typical, and I do remember that I was feeling pretty beat down on this day. And in order to feel more caught up, there were a few things I needed to do. First was I needed to catch up on my Reedsy coursework. I actually had a couple videos left over from the previous week, which was on plot skills. So I needed to finish those before I could dive into the current week, which was description. We also have live streams to watch on Monday nights, so I had that queued up. I'm definitely the kind of person who has to multitask if I'm going to be listening to something. Like, I have to do something with my hands. So on this night, I decided to work on my bullet journal while I was listening to everything. It was going to turn August in the middle of this week, and I still had yet to sit down, set up my calendar, do my to-do list, and redraw all the little trackers that I like to keep. And this is something that just helps me feel so much more settled whenever a month is ending. And if I haven't had time to sit down and do this yet, I feel very unsettled. And so doing this was a big self-care moment. So I did that while I was watching the videos and taking notes. And I didn't write on this night. It was pretty much just a catch-up night for me to just basically feel more prepared for the week. And that happens a lot. My personal life admin pretty much always happens at night. And yeah, I'm just not one of those people that writes every day. So this was me struggling through Monday. So yeah, usually Mondays are quite hard, and I definitely embrace bare minimum Mondays. But by Tuesday, I usually have a little more motivation to try and get on the right foot. So on Tuesday, I got up in the morning before work to do my Reedsy stuff for that day and logged on at my usual time. I really try to pull my treadmill out at least once during my workday. It's been so hot in Atlanta that going for a walk feels like voluntarily walking on the surface of the sun. So I do have to get creative about like finding some movement I can do indoors. So it's 5 o'clock. I just logged off of work. I have a huge screen headache right now. My head has like the rubber band around it where it's just pulsing. Today was a really long day. I have a lawnmower going insane outside my window right now, which is just so wonderful for my headache. Today was rough. It was just one of those work days where everyone is having a problem, and my job is pretty much 50% admin and 50% problem solving. And I'm just really tired of problems. I'm really tired of problems. So I'm gonna take a big screen break for a little bit. This is usually the time of day where I will go on a walk, go exercise, and just try and have a little bit of non-computer time before I work on creative stuff later. So I would usually go exercise, but I have weeding outside that I really need to do. Like, our fire pit is crazy right now because we've been getting so much rain. So I know if I don't do it now, then it won't get done until this weekend, and it's gonna get even crazier. So I think I'm gonna go outside and weed, and hopefully the fresh air will cure my after work blurry face. Oh my god, I'm so tired. This was my before shot of the fire pit jump scare. I meant to take an after shot and I just totally did not. You'll just have to trust me, it looks a lot better. Luke made us kati rolls on paratha for dinner, which was so good. I did the kitchen cleanup since Luke cooked dinner, and then it was writing time. So I had actually set a date to do some writing sprints with my critique partner, which is so helpful to not flake out on writing, is to have an accountability buddy. I always love making a hot drink whenever I go back into my office at night, and this was a really good writing session for me. I got a very good chunk of words added to the manuscript. I think we did about 4 sprints together on this night, so yeah, all in all, this was a really good writing night for me. Like I said, any way that I can schedule writing into my week is always really helpful. Sometimes this is sprinting with a writing buddy like I did the night before, but I also like to use live streams as writing dates. Whether I'm actually on the stream or just in the chat, I will like write them in my calendar as something I need to attend. So on Wednesday evening, I hosted my own monthly live stream, which was so lovely as always. I don't always get huge word counts on these nights because I'm usually a little distracted looking at the chat and such.
I am everything everywhere all at once, as you can tell by my tagline. I have a whole list of things to do, you guys. I think first I have some coursework for the Reedsy course that I'm taking. I did not watch my video this morning like I was supposed to, so I'm gonna watch that and whatever the related materials and everything, I'm gonna go through and do my coursework. So that'll probably be my first sprint. And I need to write. Duh. I'm about 16,000 words into Hera's book right now. I'm having so much fun. It's really lovely to do like a true rough draft and not care how good or not good it's turning out. So I need to write, and I also have a little bit of beta reading to do for Miss Malin, which I really want to do first, but I'm telling myself that I'm going to save it and force myself to do my other things, and I'm going to use it like a Twix bar and bribe myself into doing my other tasks first.
I did make really good progress on this night. I think I added about like 600 words or something. So yeah, all in all, it was just nice to be back in the manuscript and making a little bit of forward progress. As per usual, I watched my coursework while I was eating breakfast in the morning before work, and I also had a little extra time on this day to do some yoga before it was time to log on, and that always makes me feel so much better when I can do that. I wish I was way more consistent about doing this than I currently am, but glad we got to it on this day. Welcome to Thursday. My work day is almost done. I have an hour left still that I need to finish up some things. But I thought I would just check in and recap the day. So last night we had our stream to finish off July, which was wonderful. I fully crossed 16K in Hera's book, which was great. We're almost to 17. Soon we're going to be in the 20s, which feels crazy. But I know I got a lot of good writing done the past 2 days, so today I probably will focus more on some other things. I don't write every day. I try to spread myself really thin in a lot of different directions. So I got a notification that the online dance class that I do for cardio and exercise, they're doing a live stream at 4:30. So I want to make sure that I wrap up my work day, finish everything I want to get done today so that I am dressed and down in the basement in front of the TV at 4:30. Because I have not done a workout at all this week, actually. So I really don't want to let another day go by without that. So let's get back to work. Okay, I failed. It is 4:32. I'm not downstairs. I had to answer so many emails. I'm putting on my socks. I'm gonna run and put my sneakers on. We have made it to Friday. It's finally Friday. But you know the drill by now. We started watching our coursework the morning before work. This has just been the routine. It's the routine that's working for me. And after work, I actually had to hurry and get ready to go out because I was meeting a coworker for dinner on this night. And that was really exciting because my team is scattered across the country. We're all remote, but they just happened to be visiting Atlanta, so I actually got to go see them in person, which was really nice. So Saturdays are probably my biggest productivity day when it comes to my own personal projects. Very often, Luke and I will go to a cafe to work on Saturday mornings. We decided to try out a new cafe. They had the best tahini pastry I've ever had in my whole life. Maybe the best pastry I've ever had. But they didn't really have a lot of space for computer work, so we decided to just return home. And on this particular Saturday, I had a lot to do on my list. In addition to writing Hera's book, this was the week I was also organizing beta feedback from Project Gemstone. And I wanted to make sure that I spoke with all my beta readers while the project was still fresh in their minds. So I really needed to switch gears and dive into that project and organize next steps, start formulating a plan, and just think of any questions that I wanted to ask them now that they had completed their read. And so this work ended up being my main focus for most of Saturday. in the afternoon, I took a quick walk and then had a chat to one of my betas. And throughout the day, we also had friends over for most of the day while I was working. Luke and a lot of my friends are also musicians, so they were just like jamming out in the basement most of the day. And at a certain point, I just wanted to put my work down and just disconnect from writing and hang out with them for the night. So all in all, very productive Saturday, even though Hera's book was not the main focus. Okay, Sunday. So by the time we make it to Sunday, my desk is usually a complete mess. So here I am tidying that up to try and make a nice space for me to turn back to the writing. Welcome to Sunday. This week of writing, this week of coursework, this week of beta reading is almost done. It is about 8 o'clock on Sunday, and it's been a very nice Sunday. I spoke with one of my beta readers on Project Gemstone this morning. I worked with one of my critique partners this afternoon, so I feel like I got a ton of time in on my other project on Project Gemstone, but I don't want to let the week close without spending some more solid time on Hera's book. Because we haven't written all that much this week, but honestly, Sunday nights are kind of where it's at for me. I very often pack my weekends full. They're full of chores, full of errands, full of all the productive things I want to get done, and I usually on Sunday night feel the pressure to sneak some writing in. So honestly, this is very in the norm for me. So let's see how we do. I want to dive back into Hera's book, just have a cozy Sunday night. I cleared my desk. I have some wine. Today was our day off from coursework. There's no Reedsy coursework on Sundays, so we have the night off. So I think I'm just gonna write. Something I love is picking out which video I'm gonna write to every time I sit down. So I usually go for something like lo-fi or spooky, and lately I have been obsessed with this channel, retro wave sci-fi music, and that's so different from the book that I'm writing, but at the same time I'm pretty obsessed. So I think we're gonna go with this one. This was a really solid night for me. I got over 1,000 words in this session. I'm usually aiming for 1,000 words whenever I sit down to draft. Like, that just feels like a satisfying amount to me. If I'm in a flow, I can usually get that in about an hour, but it really depends on how hard the material is. And there are plenty of nights where I only get 500 and other nights where I get closer to 2,000. So it really varies, but I hope this week has shown you that I really am more of a slow and steady kind of writer. I'm not someone who can binge write. My brain definitely taps out after a couple thousand words. So for me, drafting usually comes down to 3 to 4 smaller writing sessions throughout the week. So now that our week is complete, we should review our total. I'm really pleased with it, considering everything that was going on this week. Obviously, my full-time job, keeping up with the Reedsy coursework, doing beta reading for a critique partner, and also squeezing in a lot of focus work on Project Gemstone. And when I look back at this week, I'm kind of glad I recorded this week in particular, because it was actually kind of a bonkers amount of stuff I had on my plate. And while I was moving through it, I felt like I was failing in some regards, and like I wasn't doing enough, and that everything was out of control, falling apart. But when I look back, like, it's easy for me to see in retrospect that it probably wasn't possible for me to be doing more. And, looking back, I can really just pat myself on the back for making the progress that I did.